You know who had more explain that song?
I've been there once. I sold out. I with my brother. He's like, we got to go because we need
Who's Paula?
good time. The screens were cool, and we did the lean forward and see it was we wanted to talk.
There's a top back there.
We were there one night years ago. It was really fun. It was really fun.
You got to play?
Yeah, we had a stupid band. It was a quartet. Brandon Fields playing saxophone. It was all our own stuff. Yeah, but our bass player. And then he disappeared a week later. He was John Patitucci. Yeah, he was a good buddy. Brandon, we had like 2 rehearsals. We did all of our own music. We said, God, this band is just killing it. And we played at a place called the Sunset Pub in Seal Beach. And we played there as well. This was in '83. I recorded the night with my little Sony stereo recorder Walkman, on metal tape. It was so loud. People just talking. But you hear everything, for me, I don't care, Yeah, because it's like, that's it. I think the next week he went on tour with David Sanborn, and then suddenly he's playing with Chick Corea. And I'm like, Chick Corea?
Yisrael, B'yoshvet Tevel, B'yimeru, Amen. V'yimeru, Amen. V'yimeru, Amen.
שלום, טובה וברכה, חיים, חן וחסד ורחמים, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חיים, חן וחסד ורחמים, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חיים, חן וחסד ורחמים, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חיים, חן וחסד ורחמים.
That we have to leave the building. Let's gather on the southwest side on that.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו.
Shabbat Shalom. It's good to be here. For those of you who were here last week, you might have noticed, maybe you didn't, that I wasn't here last week. Last week I was in Visalia, California, supervising where one of the students that I mentor from the Hebrew Union College, that's his student pulpit, and it was my student pulpit in 1995, 1996, so it was a long time ago, and there are still some people there who are living, who were there when I was there.
The people who are not living who are still there too.
I didn't visit them.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's where I was last week, and it's great to be back here at TBI with all of you. So let's just take a deep breath and be present in this space. And we'll begin with a nigun, which is just a melody with no words, so that everybody can join in, unless you call yada yada words, but that's where we'll start.
Yada
this Shabbat is, we get to have the music of our Shul band. So thank you to our Shul band for being here and adding to our music. This is Hayas, Refugee Shabbat, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as the service goes on. We have some folks who have joined us here in our community who will be introduced later, but who are some of those who have joined us in our local community, who have come from other places, as all of our families at one point came from other places to here as well. And so we just welcome you, and we'll welcome you more formally a little bit later. And we'll have also opportunities for all of you, which you'll hear about later, to have some actions, some things you can do after the service or things you can do when you get home to advocate for refugees and asylum seekers and others within our country. So we'll have a number of opportunities to learn and to act as this Shabbat and for the days that are coming. We're going to turn to our own Shabbat lights as we welcome light of Shabbat. I invite those who can comfortably do so to please rise. We are on page 3 in our Siddur, in our prayer book.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad likneh shel Shabbat.
Seated. In a minute, we're going to continue in our books on pages 20 and 21. 20 and 21. And as is our custom, before we enter into Lecha Dodi, we take a moment to review the week, to think about the week that has passed, to pause momentarily on each day and reflect on its blessings and its challenges. And then we'll come back together and sing Lecha Dodi, review of the week. We'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and they're numbered for your convenience. When we get to verse 9, I'll invite folks who are comfortable doing so to rise and face the doors from which we entered to welcome the Shabbat presence. And the Nishama Yatera, what the tradition teaches, is the extra soulfulness that travels with us during the Sabbath into the congregation and into our hearts. For those of you who are joining us from home, invite you, when we get there, to turn towards the doors of your home, the door of your home, to welcome the Shabbat. Lecha Dodi, pages 20 and 21.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala. B'nei Shabbat, Nekaber kala Erev Shabbot Nikabela Lechadodi Bikrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela Lechadodi Bikrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela Shabbat is a code to the Korakan Lechadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela Lechadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela Likrat Shabbat Nikuracha Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela Lechadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela Hit Oliri Hit Oliri Barek Kumi Oli Kumi Shidabani Koradonai Alayich Lima Lechadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela 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 Oh, Hile Shalom, Ateret Bala, Dam Besimcha, Uvsohola, Tochamunei, Am Segula, Voi Chala, Voi Allah. Lechadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela Lechadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela.
Page 26. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ואלמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי וחי יכון וביום נכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבם מברך ועליו ולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה יברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה לאמירן ועלמה ואמרו Amen.
We continue with Baruch Hu, our call to prayer, page 28.
Oh, am I awake? Am I aware? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Oh, am I awake? Am I aware? Yada die die die, 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 yada die die die. Baruch Hu et Adonai.
In the Hebrew on page 30, El Chai V'Kayam.
El Chai V'Kayam, Tamidim L'Chaleinu L'Olam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai, Amariv, Aravi.
Amen. Page 34 and 35, Shema Yisrael. continue on page 37. We read together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. We continue with Lema'an Tizkeru, the last paragraph on page 36.
Lema'an Tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
Just last week we crossed through the sea in our Torah reading cycle, and this week we stand at Mount Sinai and receive Torah and Revelation. And those are things that happen in our story, but in our tradition they actually happen every day as well. When we sing Mi Chamocha each day, we cross through the sea. When we study Torah, we stand at Mount Sinai. Those are moments that were moments that in our mythic history happened once, but they also resound and continue to happen day by day. Mi Chamocha, our Song of Freedom, page 40.
Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Amen. In a world so in need of wholeness and peace, we ask the Holy One to shelter us with a Sukkot Shalom, with a shelter of peace, and work to create those shelters for ourselves and for others in our world, in our lives as well. So we join in singing Hashkivenu, page 42. Shabbat gives us the opportunity each week to take that breath that we took at the beginning of the service, but in also the larger sense, the actual breath and the pause it gives us in our week, an opportunity to refresh and renew and reconnect to our deepest selves, to our community, to God. And we're grateful for that opportunity each week. We join in singing Vishamru, so we give thanks for Shabbat. Page 44.
ביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש.
Page 46, we'll sing Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach through a few times, and by the end, I'll ask everybody at that point to rise, and then we'll continue with our next few blessings on page 48 and 50 and 52, and then we'll have some time to continue silently with the text of our own hearts or the words of the prayer book. So page 46.
Adonai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha,
Page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula V'Nevnehem, L'Ma'an Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Hozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah.
Page 50.
Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayei HaKol Atah, Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, V'morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'chesed, V'chayei HaKol V'rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'rofech Holim, Umatir Asurim, מקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממיר ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Page 52. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Baruch Shmo,
Ha'el HaKadosh. Please continue silently with the words of your own heart or the words of the prayer book through page 62, 63. When you're through, you may be seated.
So I'm going to invite us to turn to page 339 in your Sidurim, where you will find the words, the second paragraph from the top, of Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav. Rabbi Nachman lived in the 18th century. And the words that he wrote become more and more significant and more important and more meaningful as time continues, and especially in times such as these, not only for those seeking shelter from poverty, from oppression, both political, physical, spiritual, and economic, but it's important for us all to remember that the world is a very, very narrow bridge, feels like it sometimes. The name for Egypt in Hebrew is Mitzrayim, so Tsar means the narrow, tight place. It's where we were trapped. And in some ways, all the world is a narrow bridge, but the most important thing is not to be afraid.
Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. Try that with me. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od, gesher tsar me'od. V'ha'ikar lo lefached, לפחד כלל, והעיקר very narrow bridge. It's a very narrow bridge. A very narrow bridge. All of the world is a very narrow bridge. The most important thing is don't be afraid. Vehaika, vehaika, no lefachem, no lefacheta. Vehaika, vehaika, no lefachem. Just our voices. All of the world is a very narrow bridge. It's a very narrow bridge. A very narrow bridge. Kol haolam kulo geshet sarveo. Geshet
So last week, right, it's the recap at the beginning of the show, right, when you go. In last week's episode, we came through the sea, as I mentioned earlier in the service, and we crossed through to the other side, and the Israelites sang a song of freedom. And this week's episode, and there's some more things in there, in this week's episode, there are a few pieces of the episode, but Moses is spending much of his day solving disputes. People come to Moses, there's like, the line that just goes on forever, and he sits there all day long. And Jethro, his father-in-law, Yitro, which is the name of the Torah portion, says to him, this is not good. By the way, this is only the second time in the Torah that we say something is not good. The first time is the human being alone, Lo tov heyot adam levado, in the story of creation, before the second person is created. God says it's not good for a human being to be alone. And in this case, perhaps it's not good for any human being to carry the weight of a community on their own. And so Yitro says, no, you have to appoint lots of other people to help with this. Like, you need to be just like the Supreme Court, right? All the other things, you got to have other people do. And then they continue on their journey. So that's like episode 1. They continue on their journey, and they come to Mount Sinai. And, Mount Sinai, thunder, lightning, clouds, pyrotechnics. We have all of that. And then the 10 Commandments are given at Sinai. We'll talk about what's given, perhaps, in just a minute. And I have visual aids today. So we have, these are the 10 Commandments right behind me on the tablets, right? On this side, we have 1 through 5, although they are not fully written out here, just the first word or two of each statement. And over here, because of Hebrews read from right to left, so this is the first, right, this side. And then over here, we have 6 through 10. So what I want to focus on for a moment is a tension that lives within our lives and is within Judaism as well. And this is the tension that always plays out between the particular and the universal. It's an enduring tension in the world and in our lives. And there are times that we're drawn more to the particular and other times to the universal. And it shows up right here in the Ten Commandments. In the fourth commandment, and I should say that in Hebrew they're actually not called the Ten Commandments. They're not. There's 613 commandments in Jewish tradition. Mitzvot is commandment. These are actually called Aseret Hadibrot, the 10 utterances, the 10 statements, the 10 something like that, principles, whatever you want to use, the 10 things that were stated, right? So we have the 10 principles here. And number 4 says, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat likadsho, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Sheshet yamim ta'avod ve'asita kol melachtecha, 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. But on the 7th day is the Sabbath of Adonai, your God. You shall not do any work, you, your son or your daughter, your male or female slave, or your cattle, or the stranger who is with you in your settlements. Because, and this is important, it's important anyway, but it's important for what we're talking about. Because, for in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth and all that is in them, and then rested on the 7th day. Therefore Adonai blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Right? So this is a universal statement that comes up, right? The Shabbat isn't a particularly Jewish thing. It's built into the fabric of the universe. It's God rested, right? It's part of the creation of the world. And we have this. That's there. And then, and it harkens back to the very beginning, right? God creates the world. Doesn't create a world doesn't just create a Jewish world, doesn't just create, and whatever universal or particular, not just an American world, not just whatever, but a world for everything that lives on this earth. And yet, if you were to look in the book of Deuteronomy, I don't know if you know this, but the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 utterances, they appear twice, right? They appear in Exodus, and then they appear again in Deuteronomy chapter 5. And in Deuteronomy chapter 5, they're a little different. Surprise, right? We might think there are the 10 commandments, and that they are static, and that they are the same, and everybody agrees on what they are. That's actually not true. And even the numbering, by the way, even in the Christian world, Catholics and Protestants number them differently. What's number 6 and 7, and what's number, they're numbered differently as it goes through. And Jews number them differently too, perhaps because we don't think of them as commandments. The first commandment is, I am the eternal your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. Right? That's not a command. There's no ask there, right? There's no commandment in there, but that's okay because it's 10 statements, right? So that's the first one from the Jewish counting. But in the book of Deuteronomy, when we get to the same number 4, which is about the Sabbath, it says, guard the Sabbath day, keep it, do all that stuff. And then it says why. It says, remember you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and your God, Adonai, freed you from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, God has commanded you to observe the Sabbath day. So here we have a particular reason and a Jewish reason, right, that we celebrate the Sabbath. It's because we were slaves. And because we were slaves and didn't have control over our time, we have an obligation to those who are under our control, our families and ourselves and anybody who works for us, to make sure that they have time to rest, right? And they have these kinds of things. And now I want to zoom out for just a moment and tie us in a little bit to this Shabbat. one of the things that's really important for us always in our lives is to be able to move between these places of particularism, of identity, right? Each of us has an identity of the places that we come from. That may be countries that we come from, it may be places our ancestors came from, it may be the traditions, our religious traditions are part of our identities, whatever those are. These are all kind of particularistic places that we find ourselves and nourish us and give us a frame and give us a story that is our story. And at the same time, to remember that, that we're part of a larger story that encompasses everybody. Right? It's not, we have our own special story, but there's also another story that we're part of. And this is, of course, in the teaching of Hillel as well, when Hillel says, Im ein ani li mili, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? Uksha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, but if I am only for myself, what am I? V'im lo akshav emaitai, and if not now, when? Right? So we have this tension. Of course, we always have to look out for ourselves and our families and our communities. But if we ever stop there, we've fallen short. Right? Our circle of concern may begin with ourselves and our families, but it certainly doesn't end there. Right? In our world, there are concentric circles of concern that we must have. We have to have enough space in our heart and in our compassion to care not only about ourselves and the things that happen to our communities, but also to care about the experience of others and what they experience in their life. And sometimes we can tie these stories together. So I would say that the Exodus from Egypt is the framing story of Jewish life, right? We left the only place at the time that anybody who was alive knew, right? And had to wander and figure out a new place to go. And one of the lessons of that story is remember that you were a stranger in the land of Egypt, right? Don't oppress the stranger. You were strangers in the land of Egypt. That was just the first of many wanderings of the Jewish people. Every one of us has a story about how we came here to this country. And so as we, on this Shabbat, re-engage with our own stories and how we all got here, our own experiences of exile, of wandering, of being refugees from various places, we also connect those stories to the stories that exist today of the millions and millions and millions of folks in our world who are trying to find a new path and a new place when the place that they were living became a place they couldn't live anymore and had to make a new journey. And so I hope that you'll take an opportunity to well, you'll hear a little bit about the people who are here today, but you'll also take an opportunity to share and talk to folk, and you'll go and you'll learn more about some of the things that are here as it plays out, and to always remember that those two, we always have to dance, in a sense, between our own particular story and the universal story that we're a part. Neither of them is complete without the other. We each need a place, a home, a story that is ours, that gives us a sense of belonging and a sense of purpose. And that story has to connect us to a broader story and a broader sense of care and a broader sense of responsibility that we are responsible beyond ourselves and our own communities to others as we continue on our journey, because we're always on some kind of a journey, as we continue on our journey of growth and connection and humanity, our Jewish journey in our own lives. Shabbat Shalom. I would like to invite Ruth Charloff to come on up and share on behalf of Team Tzedek some of the things about this highest Refugee Shabbat.
Thank you, Rabbi. So, Shabbat Shalom. I'm Ruth Charloff, and we are really proud to be a highest congregation and to be part of this nationwide observance of a Refugee Shabbat. HIAS used to stand for Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, a venerable institution that reaches back as far as the arrival of many of our own grandparents and great-grandparents. And now they just go by HIAS as their work has become worldwide and universal and non-sectarian, just as Rabbi was just saying. So I'm here to let you know about our local partner organizations that we're supporting, a few special guests who are with us tonight, and the action items that Team Tzedek has prepared for you at tonight's Oneg. So come visit our display at the Oneg, and you'll see a variety of ways that you can help out. They range from either small and very, very quick, or not quite so small and more committed. A bit about our two local partner organizations right here in Claremont. The Newcomer Access Center helps refugees and immigrant families connect with services and resources to help them become self-sufficient and to integrate into the larger society. Newcomer Access Center currently serves 268 clients, a number that fluctuates a good bit, as you would imagine. Most live close by, but some are as far as Ventura County and Riverside County. Their clients are immigrants from all over, including areas currently suffering incredible hardship and violence, from Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Egypt, and Lebanon, from Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Peru, from Ukraine, Tajikistan, and Azerbaijan, and from China. NAC told us, for instance, about one family who's living here now. They are adult asylum seekers from Afghanistan who had walked from Brazil to the US border. Just imagine. It's a long way. The other amazing local organization that we're highlighting is called Claremont Canopy. Canopy is an ally and advocate for newly arrived refugees. The group is steadily growing, and they currently serve over 100 families from 9 different countries. Just last month, Canopy welcomed 7 new Syrian refugees into our community. You'll find information about both organizations at our Oneg, including ways to donate money or items that these families need, and how you can help out by volunteering if you've got more time. We're honored that Ann Thorward, president of the Newcomer Access Center, is able to be with us tonight. I'm sure Ann will be happy to answer any of your questions at the Oneg. Ann, can you stand for a moment, please? Thank you. Also, joining us tonight are a few recent refugees that the Newcomer Access Center has been able to help. One is Jalil Barati from Afghanistan. Thank you, Jalil. Jalil and his wife are artists, and Jalil also worked as a translator for the US Embassy. They knew that they needed to get out when Afghanistan fell to the Taliban. Newcomer Access Center has helped them find jobs here in our community and also housing for them and their toddler son, and even raised support for art supplies. Also with us tonight is Hannah Natova and her 2 daughters, Sonia and Stacy. Thank you. There they are. They are from Ukraine. The family traveled through Poland, Germany, and Spain to finally get here. Hannah had been working for the Ukrainian government with a master's in economics. She's been able to find work here in Claremont, but not yet in her field, which is a familiar immigrant story that I'm sure many of us have had some experience of or knowledge of. So at the Oneg, please welcome our guests and have a chat. You'll enjoy talking with them. And while you're there, please also notice that we have some delicious desserts that are the work of recent immigrants who've started small businesses right here in our community. The baklava comes from the Kanjo family, who arrived from Syria in 2016. They have 4 adult children, plus a younger son in school in Claremont. The parents are accomplished caterers of Syrian cuisine, and their baklava is delicious. The honey cake is from the Safrova family, who came here from Russia in 2022. Parents of 4 girls who attend the Claremont schools. The father now works as a security officer, and the mother is a caretaker for an elderly person. And they also have a small baking business and have become quite famous for their honey cake. If you'd like to buy from either of these families for yourself or for a special event, Claremont Canopy will be happy to put you in touch with them. Finally, a word about ways that you can take action, including things you can do right on the spot this evening during our Oneg. At the Oneg, you'll find information about 2 important pieces of pending federal legislation that your member of Congress needs to hear from you about. One is the Bipartisan Afghan Adjustment Act, which will help Afghan refugees who were evacuated here in 2021 gain a pathway to permanent legal status. This includes many Afghanis who worked with U.S. forces or U.S. humanitarian groups who are currently still in legal limbo. The other legislation is the Asylum Seeker Work Authorization Act. Asylum seekers are currently prohibited from seeking work for 180 days after their arrival. That's 6 months. That makes it incredibly difficult for them to find housing or live any kind of stable life, even when there are children who need supporting. This bipartisan act would shorten that waiting period to 30 days so they can start to look for a job. For these and other highest supported actions, we've provided easy QR code links that you can just point your phone at and send a letter. We'd be happy to help talk you through that if you like, or you can take a sheet and do the actions at home. Also, please check out our displays about the Newcomer Access Center and the Claremont Canopy. There are QR codes there as well that let you easily donate to either organization, as well as information about volunteering. And finally, if you'd like to get involved with Team Tzedek, there are so many points of entry and different ways to help. Team Tzedek is the name of our social justice and social action group here at TBI. We are involved with a lot of different things: legislative action along with the URJ's Religious Action Center, support of the needy through several local organizations, including our food drive for Inland Valley Hope Partners, action in local housing issues, climate action through the national organization called Dayenu, support of democracy and voting through nonpartisan postcarding with the Religious Action Center, and also supporting the needs of TBI itself through our annual Mitzvah Day. Come and talk with us. We're nice, we're not too pushy, and you may find something that will suit your interests and time. Shabbat Shalom.
Our thoughts and our prayers now turn to those in our life and in our community who are in need of healing, of body, of mind, and of spirit. We are on page 253 in our books.
Blessed our mothers, blessed our fathers from ancient days. Bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. Akadosh prayer
as we say their names. We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Anna Fields Austin, Sue Tobak, Rosalind Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Poliakoff, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Jennifer Rudin, Brad Holland, Serena Postal, Robert Strober, Nomi Kravitz, Lori Snyder, Cherry DeRazaday, Mike Klein, Joel Beasy, Gloria Foster, Rita Warshaw, Robert Gerard, Adele Harris, Brenda Found Gerard, Jan Marcus, Marla Fregoso, Al Shapiro, Jeff Nelson, Robert Waldman, Barry Gustafero, Judith Gratz-Delang, Eva Laxon, Audrey Kubel, Deborah DeLang, James Stead, Rita Elias, Stephen Gilbert, Sharon Zaki, Nell Barron, Oliver Holland, Bill Hughes, Ed Means, Stephanie Holland, Stan Stein, Virginia Guzman, Suzette Guzman, Marilyn Rudin, Claudia Phillips, Kenneth Phillips, Sandy Gunn, Von Gilman, Julie Ben Simon, Eric Baldwin, Chris Gacci, Rabbi Jules King, Faye Bernstein, Rabbi Mel Young, Joan Gerard, Victoria Kupitz, and well, it's February. So if anybody has a February birthday, I'd like to invite you to move into the center aisle. All those born in February. And we're going to... and then I could use a few helpers up here to help hold a birthday canopy. So if we have any canopy helpers... Birthday people don't come up yet, just canopy people. All right. All right.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, now birthday people can come up. We wish you a happy birthday, but not only a happy birthday, a good year, a year of health, and a year of blessings, a year of growth of wisdom and of spirit, a year of connection to community, a year of goodness. And we offer the blessing of our tradition.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and may God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine into you and through you to others. May God always be compassionate unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God and all that is good be present for you in your life. May you find wholeness and peace in your hearts, in your community, and may you join with others to bring our world closer to wholeness and to peace. And we say together, Amen. In our continued joint project joint venture between Temple Beth Israel and Mark Feynman, we have Yom Huledet Sameach pencils, which say happy birthday, and then Mark does the chocolate for us. So I have a birthday pencil for each of you. All right, and we will sing you out. Careful, everybody on the
One more time. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Ran out of room there.
It is also, next Shabbat is Adar, a new month on the Hebrew calendar. They're really tricky this year because there's two Adars this year. There's Adar 1 and Adar 2 because in the Jewish calendar we have leap months, right? So on a leap year we get a second month of Adar, and it's really the first month of Adar that is the extra month. See, we make it a little challenge. The second month of Adar is the regular Adar, and the first month of Adar is the extra Adar, because Purim, which falls in Adar, when we have two Adars, it falls in the second Adar, right? All the holidays are in the second Adar month. So,
unless you have a birthday.
Well, unless it's like being born on February 29th and you're born in Adar 1, and but I won't get into that. All right. I did a baby naming recently, though, of a kid who was born on February 29th. So, the kid kept different, their family kept different, was going to keep two separate sets of like how many times are they out of February 29th, and then how many times is there? Yeah, whatever. Okay, so we're going to turn to page 261. And I'm going to start in the middle of the page, and we're going to announce the new month. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace and prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good.
Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon Yeh B'Yom Shabbat Kodesh.
The new month of Adar 1 will be on Shabbat. Next Shabbat will be the first of Adar 1. And I'm going to invite Laura to come forward.
Shabbat Shalom, again.
I'm Laura Zuckerman, a member of our Board of Trustees, and we so appreciate all of you being here in the sanctuary and online. It's been a fabulous but long evening. I do have some things to share with you, so just bear with me, okay? So first, thank you to our wonderful Rabbi Kupitz for all of his meaningful words, and to Cantor Bush for pulling it all together with great music along with the Shul Band, whom he will introduce shortly. But let's give jazz hands to our wonderful Shul Band. Yeah. Toda Rabbah, thank you to Ruth Charloff, representing that part of Team Zedek so wonderfully, and Team Zedek, many of whose the committee members are here tonight, is doing such wonderful work, led by Lillian Metlitsky and Laura Katowski. Thank you. And welcome and thank you to our special guests. We're so happy you're here, and we look forward to speaking with you all. I also want to thank Sean Peterson on behalf of TBI and the board for managing our online presence during the service. Thank you. And thank you to tonight's greeters. All this work is done voluntarily for Passion for Temple Beth Israel, Kylie Sykes, Eitan Resnick, Judy Rose, and Harriet DiBasilio. Thank you back again to Team Zedek, as Ruth mentioned, for providing the wonderful international desserts tonight. We'll all be gathered in the social hall for the Oneg, where it will be fascinating to see what they have provided for us to do, both shortly and quickly, or a longer term item with more commitment. All is needed. Okay. So I want to just take a few more minutes to highlight a few things coming up in February. Who thought February could be so interesting? But wait till I tell you what we've got. So first, just a reminder, every Thursday in your email is the Tikiyah, which tells you what's happening that week and partly the next week. And at the end of the Tikiyah online is an online version of the Kehillah, which is our monthly news magazine with features, which comes out every month into your mailbox. But if you can't wait, you can just, or don't like print, you can just open it in your Tikiyah. Also, we have a wonderful Facebook page and a website that you can go to easily and see what's going on. So here are the most immediate things I'd like to draw your attention to. First, fun and music. So if you don't have tickets already and you're free tomorrow night, please join us here for a fabulous show put together by the Jewish Federation with a boost from our own brotherhood to celebrate Federation's 30th anniversary. It's an adaptation of a wonderful book called Stars of David, which tells the story of our many well-known Jewish celebrities, writers, and so on. So it's storytelling and it's music with Cantor Bush and a good number of wonderful cantors. And Cantor may tell you more about it. I hope to see you there. It'll be here, 7:30 tomorrow night. Okay. Next, inspiration and worship. So Temple Beth Israel and Claremont Presbyterian Church are celebrating, starting Sunday morning, 46 years of an annual interfaith exchange. So it starts this Sunday, 10 a.m. at Claremont Presbyterian, and then the following Friday, February 9th, here at 7:30, with the same cast of characters, our wonderful clergy and the fabulous Reverend Karen Sapio. And I must say, I've now attended a few of them, and they are fascinating services, drawing comparisons and contrasts in very accessible ways between the two religions, with music and words, and it's really very special, and it's only once a year. So I highly recommend it. You'll be glad you attend. Two more quick things. This Wednesday at 6:30 in our lovely TBI library, There's the second play reading by those of you who attend, led by our own writer and congregant Sarah Truitt. This time, it is a play that Sarah and our own Arava Talve wrote about Miriam. And there'll be refreshments and so on. But the really great thing is sitting around that table reading parts from this play about Miriam, written by our own people. So I hope you can go 6:30 Wednesday and do RSVP so that we have enough copies of the play. Okay. One more thing on a more contemporary and painful note. So we used to call Wednesdays Wisdom Wednesdays for adult Jewish learning activities, and we're doing it again. So starting Wednesday, February 21st, Rabbi Kupitz is beginning a 3-session class on anti-Semitism from its origins to the present. And this will be important and very timely, obviously. And I would say, don't miss them. Come to whichever of the 3 or all 3 that you can. And with that, I wish you Shabbat Shalom.
Since I was invited to say something brief, I will. We've been rehearsing the past 2 days with the group, some of whom had to fly in from other parts of the country. And I think it's going to be fabulous tomorrow night. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like to stay out late at night, this might be just the show for you. It's not Broadway length. It starts, assuming we get started on time around 7:30, we should be finished by 9. So I just wanted to mention that because sometimes people look at, well, how long is it, Cantor? And they always say that with we know how the voice trails at the end. How long is it, Cantor? This will keep you awake and engaged, I guarantee you, through the entire performance. And there's some really, really terrific friends that I have the opportunity to work with. And I want to thank Cantor Judy Sofer, really, who is the brains and the vision behind all of the Federation's cultural events. So thanks to her. One quick thing about the play reading. There are copies available in the office if you'd like to pre-read, if you'd like to get, pick your part maybe, or take a look and see what speaks to you. So I don't know that they're available tonight necessarily, but anytime before Wednesday rather, if you want to come by the office and pick up a copy, they're right there waiting for you. So, thank you.
Page 282. Oh, you want to introduce the band members?
Oh yeah, of course I do. Sorry, I was going to do it before the final song, but Reed Gratz, our keyboardist and musical director, Ed Beardsley on bass, Al Shapiro on woodwinds, and Jeff Klein on percussion. We want to wish a Misha Berach healing prayer to Chris Gacci, who's still getting over her a little bit of a health condition. So she sends her love. I talked to her earlier today. So
282, middle of the page, Aleinu L'Shabeach. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני Ushemo, Ushemo, Echad.
May be seated. Page 294. We take a moment to remember those who have been important in our lives and have left this earth, those who have died in recent days or at this time in years past. We remember Benjamin Jones, son of Linda and Frank Jones, brother of Jenna Vandegrift. Remember Shirley Erker, Gloria Gill, aunt of Lisa Smolin. Stacy Lewis, daughter of Jeff Lewis. Louis Rosenberg, brother-in-law of Jack Schuster. Barbara Sandek, sister of Arlene Andrew. Bobby Kay, mother of Stacy Madrid. Remember the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Matthew Barthold, Johanna Jody Colbin, Frida Goldberg, Mitchell Gould, Larry Harris, Louis Hirsch, Helen Hollander Rosen, Julius Joe Kummerman, Gary Leach, Fred Weiss, Vera Gutman, Harry Projector, Jenny Golden, Helen Pruitt, Julius Eisenberg, Meyer Gernitz, Zachary Hahn, Florence Kirschbaum, Sam Levitt, Lenore Newman, Robert Bigelow, Dorothy Blumenfeld, Rella Friedman, Janine Megaha Williams, Joseph Shear, Arlene Swilling, Julius Drozen, Laverne Harris, Morley Lasky, David Rafison, Beatram Deitch, James Leonard Gratz, Emil Gross, Sherwin Grossman, and Esther Siegel. If you're remembering somebody on this Shabbat and would like to add their name to those I've mentioned or restate a name I've mentioned, please feel free to do so as I come by your row. If you're at home, please feel free to share with the online community in the chat. If you're in a time of mourning or observing a Yortzeit on this Shabbat, I invite you to rise. And I invite the rest of the congregation, if it's your custom, to rise in embrace and support of those who mourn. Kaddish, page 294. Yit Gadal, Yit Gadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma Divrach Hirute, Viamlich Machute, Bechayachon, Viomechon, Chaye Decho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalau Vizman Kari, V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Ulomei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal, Shmei Dukudisha Brichu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tush B'chata V'nechemata, Da'amiram V'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. And we'll close last stanza, page 321. Beato.
Beato,
soul I give to you.
My soul I give to you.
My spirit in your care.
My spirit in your care.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Draw me near, I shall not
Hold me in your hand.
hold me in your hand.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Draw me near, I shall not
Safely in your hand.
safely in your hand.
My soul I give to you. My soul I give to you. My spirit in your care. My spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near. Draw me near. I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Safely in your hand. Biyado afkid ruchi. Biyado afkid ruchi. Ve'etishan ve'a'ira. Ve'etishan ve'a'ira. Ve'im ruchi geviati. Ve'im ruchi geviati. Adonai li v'lo ira. Adonai li v'lo ira. Ve'im ruchi geviati. Adonai li v'lo ira. For those who have joined us online, thank you for being with us. For all of you in the sanctuary, please join us in the social hall for Kiddush, Motzi, refreshments. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Ed.
9:10, really? That's a lot of talking.
I accidentally hit this button and I don't know if that's really
What do you mean?
Good job, Pete.